Welcome back to a new episode of the Life of a Makeup Artist. So today I wanted to touch on something that is a bit personal. And every time I share these stories, I hope that you can connect with it somehow and see how it relates to your life. So I'm officially back in New York from Paris from what felt like a 3-year trip. Honestly, I go and I love it, but then I'm just like Karate Kid. I hate it here and I want to go home. And I didn't really have much time to adjust because as soon as I got back to New York, it was crazy busy for me. Now, of course, no complaints. We're all busy. We're running multiple businesses. Some of us have children. We all run busy lives. And because of that, a few months ago, I decided to start getting regular massages. This was something that I was like, this is part of my self-care. I'm going to get massages. I literally have probably gone for like 2. I made time for 2. And one I did a few months ago. And then the next one, I did it right before I went to Paris. Because I was like, oh, I don't want to be in that seat for so long. Even though I'm sleeping all the way, I just don't want, to feel too uncomfortable. Now, I've been dealing with a bit of sciatica for a very long time. And if you know my story, I worked for MAC Cosmetics for like 5 years. And in that time, I was wearing all the platform shoes, the heels. Whatever was cute, I was in it. And I was standing on concrete and I wasn't really thinking about that. I was walking around. I'm doing the most. And I didn't really think about what it was doing to my body, my back, my feet. I didn't really think about that until my body started to kill me. Now, contrary to popular belief, being a makeup artist is not a very glamorous job. I think aspects of it can be glamorous, especially when you're a celebrity makeup artist, you're traveling the world, you're working with these beautiful people, and you are being exposed to things that you may not have been exposed to on your own. But I would say, let's say someone who's going on tour and traveling the world. I personally have met makeup artists that don't like being on tour because, one, you isolate yourself from so many other opportunities. You're away from family, friends, loved ones, doggies, puppies, cats, whatever it is, and you're just by yourself for however long. Mind you, you're at work, but you're completely isolated. So there are always those things to think about when you're thinking about how glamorous the life of a makeup artist might be, because you're working sometimes from 8 to 10 to 12 to 16. And if you're working TV and film, those hours can go way past that. So I have been a full-time freelancer for about 3 years now, a little over 3 years. And I haven't really had any issues with my sciatica to the point where I was like, couldn't move or anything. It was just like, oh, I might get a bout of pain there, quick there. I'll have to stop, just get them stretch it out, and then I'm fine. Now, I was, wearing my skincare Sunday robe on last Sunday, obviously. And I'm like, I just washed some brushes and I'm in my room and I just went to pick up something off the floor. Like I just went to grab something that fell, and the pain that ran through my back was literally unbelievable. I haven't felt anything like that before. I've gotten that shooting pain down my leg, but I have never felt anything like that before. And I was just like, oh my God. So I was limping a little bit, and then I started to loosen up a little bit, but the pain was there. And any sudden movement that I made was super painful. So I was able to make it through Monday, but knowing that I had such a crazy week ahead, I was working on a beauty photo shoot for Target Beauty and for 2 days, and I knew it was going to be really long days. So my only day left really to go to see the chiropractor was on Tuesday. And I was just like, all right, well, I have to make this. I had another appointment. I had 2 other things after the chiropractor. So I was like, okay, I have to make it. I went I felt a little better, but I didn't feel completely better. Now, then I have to turn around and be on set and be present and obviously I'm not going to tell anybody, my assistant knew, but, I'm not going to be like, oh, my back, this is why I'm not performing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not moving as fast or I'm not bending. You know what I mean? Because you have to turn these looks out. You have to do what you have to do and nobody honestly cares. So, there might be somebody on the team that be like, oh, are you okay? But at the end of the day, the team wants what they want. So, luckily I had a great assistant. Thank you, Aya. And I felt the need to talk about this because I feel like in this day and age, we are so conditioned to one, always be grinding. And while self-care has been quite the topic on Instagram and the repostable memes, are we really taking time to self-care? Are we really doing those things, or does it just sound good? Now, having a glass of wine is fine, you know what I mean? Like doing a mask is fine, but like how are we really taking care of our bodies? And for me, this was such a wake-up call because, while I didn't have pain for like a very long time, I did have little bits of pain before. So I shouldn't have for something to go wrong, like really wrong, in order for me to stop and say, ooh, I think I need to really, really take care of myself. Now I've had friends who have dealt with, like shoulder surgery, who have had to, call out of work for weeks because of, pain or different things on their body. And, our jobs are very physical. We're lifting our hands, we're contorting our bodies, we're lifting heavy kits. And if you don't lift, like I don't lift, you know what I mean? Like and even if I was lifting, it just would not be good for my back based on my research. But for me, I'm like, okay, so now how are we going to move forward and taking care of ourselves? Is it that I'm going to get a massage regularly and stick to it? My friend recommended me to this place called Racked. And Racked is like a sports medicine place. You can get like stretched out. You can get I think you get massages as well. So that's something that I'm looking into. But for me, this was such a wake-up call. And hopefully if this is something that you might be going through, it's so important to stop and really just take care of yourself. And because if you don't do it, somebody else will. You know what I mean? So, meaning if you don't do that job, somebody else will. So you might as well just take care of yourself. And like sometimes I too, regardless of how busy my schedule is, I've had to force myself to stop and take a break. You know what I mean? Like I don't recommend just, laying down and Netflixing and chilling for the rest of your life. But I do see the importance of sometimes just taking also a mental break. There's so many things that we have to do. 2020 is coming up. And, I'm all for going after what you want, writing things down, making it happen. And, that's the message that I send out too with the artist planner. Write it down, make it happen. But also scheduling some time for you. Take a step away, go for a walk, a run, a jog, meditate, breathe deep. Because those things are very healing to the body. And, while we get these goals and book these jobs, we want to make sure that we can do it in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years, the next 10 years, if that's the direction that you want to go in. But I just wanted to, share my experience in the last week. It's been, quite an experience because, you never really think of, the things that can go extremely wrong. I was having quite a cute Sunday listening to my R&B, and then all of a sudden I was in extreme pain. So going forward, the rest of 2019 into 2020, I am going to, talking about this even on my personal page at Jaleesa Jaikaran and also on the Life of a Makeup Artist. Just, having a bit more conversation about what we do, the shoes that we wear, All of those things are really important. And even if you aren't a makeup artist, you might just be a busy person working in a city, walking around, taking care of kids, like doing all these things. And it's so important for us to just take some time out for ourselves, for our bodies. If your body says, hey, I just want to rest, I think sometimes you might just, it might help to listen. So that's it for this episode. I'm looking forward to the upcoming episodes that we have. We'll be hearing from the CEO of Uma Beauty. We also have an episode coming up with Michaela Warievi, and I am so excited. So I'll see you guys in the next episode, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, and also you can join our Facebook group at The Life of a Makeup Artist.